hooking the grain bins. This is obviously the truck dump. It's about, I don't know, it might hold 250 bushels, if that. I ain't gonna pull the tarps off because they're big heavy mine belting. But you dump a truck here, it's gonna go into this grain leg, which is gonna throw it into the hopper tank here. And during harvest, you can't drive through here because we got a big black pipe that's gonna go up there and run down to this pit so you can get wet corn back out of the wet tank, which in turn you're gonna put in this drying bin. No, we don't have a continuous flow dryer. This is what they call a top dry, and I know you can't see it. There's the two big fans, but basically there's a 2,000 bushel false floor in this bin about where those lights are there. There's just a screened floor like you would see on a continuous flow, and you fill it full until that light and that buzzer goes off, and then you can start your dryer, which is over here. There's one of the fans. There's the other one. Basically, that's just gonna be like any dryer. It's gonna blow fiery air into the bin. Here's the controls. That's OSHA approved, by the way. But anyhow, that's gonna heat this bin up, heat the grain up, dry it. Whenever you get done, whenever the fans shut off anyhow, you're gonna open these cranks, which opens a bunch of little doors in that false floor up there and lets the corn go back down into the actual bin part here. Then this auger here is what we unload out of to put it into the dry leg, which the dry leg goes to that big bin, and that big bin. And they each hold about 50,000 a piece, 55. That one holds 60 to 65. It's one ring taller than these. 48 foot, 12 rings tall. That one's 48 foot, 13 rings. Anyhow, we draw out of this because it's the only way to get corn out of this bin, because there's where we end up cleaning out of, which we run into the pit. But this is just faster. We just leave the natural cone of the corn to do the work. But it runs to those three bins, and then if you want corn to go to any of these three little bins, we've got a pipe. We run it into the pit, goes up that leg, goes into those three. But that's basically how this operation works. Well, here's the LP tank. I think it holds about 30,000 gallons. We've got it piped underground up to the dryer. Setting it down here. I'm gonna try to remember which one of these valves it is. I think it's the red one, but I never can remember. We shut them off every year. We don't have any trouble. Actually, that one's been still open. It's got this reset on it. I think this has to be open. Oh yeah. Takes a good long while to get propane all the way up there to the dryer. Well, I'm up here now in the coon toilet, trying to get stung by some wasps probably. Just inspecting everything, making sure that there ain't nothing catastrophic happened up here for any reason. Like wires that's been chewed in half. There's a red wasp looking at me right through that box. which is also OSHA approved, I promise. Gotta step out across the opening here. And look at this one over. We've actually had these fans start reversed and burn the blades off of them, which is always scary because it blows flames out the front. Well, here's the control interface. It's not much. Basically, on-off switch. You get a safety kill over here. You can program your cool time, your dry time. You can check your plenum temp, grain temp, and change where these high limit points are on how hot it can get before it shuts itself off, or how hot it's supposed to let the grain get, because these fans cycle from high flame to low flame, so it burns hot for a little while until it gets the temperature up, then it'll kick over to a lower flame and burn until it drops below a certain point, then it'll kick back to high flame. It's constantly doing that, so that's how that works there. I think I'm going to pull my truck around here and make sure I've got gas up here at those lines over there, and then we'll try kicking it off for the first time. Fingers crossed. That's that. Everything works. Well, it's about quitting time here. I'm over here moving a few items so we can turn trucks around off the scale with a skid steer. I'm going to grab this chain and maybe a few barrels, throw them on the forks, dump them off, and head to the house. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, got a hot deal on a mattress. Actually two, if anybody's interested. These deals won't last long.